don't have any actual clues that say
I
that.
feel like it has to be like Mr. Jones and Miss Kelly. Or Mr. Scott and Miss Kelly, not Mr. Jones.
Yeah.
Just his fingerprints. Back. Well, how do you get back? I mean, if I'm gonna stab someone, I don't stab over them.
Unless you were
Let's
trying
stab
to
them
leave,
from behind. So Mr. Scott must have been behind him at some point?
or Mr. Kelly was trying to leave,
Or maybe he was leaving.
Oh, yeah.
and then
And they
He picked up the knife.
knife stabbed him. Confused and
Well, why? I mean, if we assume that he is having an affair with his wife,
why would he?
he's leaving.
maybe
Why stab him?
does Mr. Scott have a wife?
No, it doesn't say.
It doesn't
All it
say.
says Miss Kelly and Miss Smith.
God, that's
I don't know, maybe he
that's
was.
broken.
Yeah.
If he was leaving,
Why
why
stab?
would he stab him? Unless he was talking to his wife, who was in Mr. Scott's room. Mr. Scott came from behind him. Maybe asked Mr. Jones to borrow the knife? I don't know. We don't know who owns the knife, right?
Yeah, it's Mr.
It
Scott.
was Mr. Scott and
It's
Mr.
Mr.
Jones.
Scott's.
owns
Mr.
it.
Scott has his fingerprints on it, but it doesn't mean he owns it.
I mean,
I'm assuming he does, but that's sure. You don't
Yeah.
know that.
We don't know that he owns
It
it.
could be Miss Smith who owns the gun. Who knows? And maybe that's why they planted it there. I think we're just, I don't know. There's so much going on.
There's so much going on. That's frustrating.
bless you.
Thank you.
Stab someone in the back. We're missing something. Definitely missing something.
Do you want to read these again?
Sorry.
Do you think we should read these again? Maybe that'll help.
Probably. Let's go and see the timelines first.
Timelines, okay. Mr. The elevator man saw Mr. Kelly's wife go to Mr. Scott's apartment at 11:30.
11:30.
And
Elevator man. Mr. Kelly went to Mr. Scott's apartment at 11:30.
and then you have one at 12:15, right?
11:55 and 12:15. So Miss Smith saw Mr. Kelly go to Mr. Jones' apartment building at 11:55 p.m. Miss Smith, who doesn't seem to have been involved in anything but was watching the whole time, saw Mr. Kelly, who's the dead guy, go to Mr. Jones, who shot somebody definitely and may have stabbed someone. Apartment building at 11:55. Mr. Jones shot an intruder in his apartment building at 12 midnight.
I mean, he claims he shot an intruder at 12 midnight.
Well, he's not here, so someone must know that he shot an intruder.
I mean, like, midnight is like a vague term.
12 p.m., 12 midnight.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's around midnight.
It says at 12 midnight.
11:50.
So in like 5 minutes he was shot.
Shot, yeah.
Means he must have been talking.
About their business or whatever, or jobs.
Yeah, because
And all three of them are missing.
Yeah. I think Mr. Jones is missing because he's fearful that he thought he actually killed him.
Yeah,
Maybe they're working together.
and he has more, like,
Motive, or
like, people think he would because he stole his customers, Mr. Kelly.
so he just left for out of.
And then Mr. Kelly went to Mr. Scott's apartment and then found Mr. Kelly there and then they, they all left and then there was blood sent outside of Mr. Jones' apartment, got both into Mr. Scott's apartment, and he was stray. And he was found in the, missing things between there, but he was found dead. So they must have dragged him to the park and dropped the knife on at Mrs. Smith. But then why wouldn't they just leave the body at Mrs. Smith's?
Not true.
A body's pretty heavy, especially dragged for a long distance.
Especially if Miss Smith is watching everything.
Maybe more than one person dragged him.
Could be all three of them on dragged.
Yeah, because they're all missing. And he was stabbed in the back, so maybe he was
I
talking
think
to
Mr. Jones has to do with it, but I think he just stopped thinking that he
Yeah.
killed him.
Yeah, so he's ruled out.
I think it was Mr. Scott or Miss Kelly.
Well, maybe while he was talking to Mr. Jones, Mr. Scott stabbed him, because how else would he get behind him? And apparently they live in the same building.
Yeah, apparently they all lived in the same building.
And then... Jones shot him. So Mr. Scott's, well, maybe he wants his wife to himself, so he stabbed him. And he's pissed off about the business, so he didn't die from the stab wound and he shot. Well, he was shot first.
Yeah, so he didn't die from the gun room. Walked to Mr. Scott.
Yeah, I think he was killed by a knife.
Yeah,
So he shot him,
but like they saw him
didn't die.
and they dragged him across just to make sure that he was dead.
Then he was dead. He was bleeding out.
Does anybody have anything that says Mr. Kelly went to Mr. Scott's apartment?
Yeah, 12:25.
You do?
Yes. Elevator man saw Mr. Kelly go.
It's the elevator man. He
Was
saw
he
him.
bleeding at the time?
He saw him bleeding. Like, doesn't say any time, but the elevator man saw Mr. Kelly, and Mr. Kelly was bleeding slightly, but he did not see too badly hurt. So that could have been the first time. Like, because I'm assuming elevator man works in the elevator.
He's okay.
So maybe he saw him and then he went to Mr. Scott's apartment. And then,
left, and they said he wasn't badly injured, so he could have been stabbed in the back.
no, I'm
He was
assuming
definitely stabbed in the back.
Yeah, but like in the room though, like right before. So he's been shot and then he's been stabbed. But he was still, but he appeared to be not badly hurt.
It's
Yeah.
not easy to stab someone in the back if they're paying attention.
that's why I was assuming
Yeah,
they did it without him. Obviously, without him.
he's
He
probably
must have been doing something else.
probably walking away.
Walking away or someone sneaked up behind him.
And he was stabbed
When he
second.
saw his wife, maybe, I don't know.
He was stabbed second and he left the building. So whatever happened,
Do we know he left the
didn't-
building?
he definitely left the building and walked out.
Yeah, 12:45.
So he was shot and he left the building. He was shot and got up his back and he still left the building.
Yeah.
Oh,
Walking.
he's tough.
I mean, he didn't really leave the building. They got him to his car.
There's nothing in the rules against asking you for the answer.
Yeah, there's one answer. And like we're coming up to the close of the hour, so just, I guess, figure it out as a team, write it down, and then we have some paperwork to do. Okay, thanks.
Okay, so we can write down was a knife, right?
Yeah.
Remember that?
We're gonna say knife? Murder.
Wait, or I mean, I think the place was probably inside Mr. Scott's car.
Oh,
And they could have tricked him saying, hey, we'll take you to the hospital if we see you're bleeding.
yeah, so that could be his car, yeah.
And then while he's laying down, stab him, drag him away, and they run off with each other.
I think, yeah, I agree with the car. The motive for the murder?
Was
I
he in
have
the
no idea.
front seat? Back seat?
It's in the backseat.
Let's take him to the hospital.
I think it was dead before.
Stab before you. If they stab him in the back, you'd have to be sitting in the front seat.
Well, it's just a lay down on the back.
If he lays down in the back, this is I guess it's a bridge from the front seat instead of way out. But then how they get down? Like if he's on his back and you stab him in his back, or if he's on his stomach and you stab him in his back, it's not gonna bleed. And you fuck up.
Do you have it written down?
No. Murder,
It's Mr. Scott.
Yeah, Mr. Scott.
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 The car. Mr. Scott's car, right?
Yeah.
And the motive.
I don't know. I don't know. That's why this story doesn't work for me, because there's no motive. That's why we do it.
Right, no motive.
He's crazy.
Definitely has something to do with an affair, so, but
Yeah.
an affair gone wrong or
An affair? I feel like the one being cheated on is the guy that
That's what it is.
doing.
yeah. But
There's stuff just that's
but they
missing in the story.
Mr. Kelly went to Mr. Scott's room and they're both gone.
I don't think this is the way.
Okay? It's just-
Okay, great.